Okay, so I'm going to start with this Warringah Mall project, and so you'll need access to these two resource files. There's an AutoCAD file and PDF file in this Warringah Mall folder. And so this is on the P drive at the college here, but I've also put a copy onto Moodle. And so if you go to the subject Moodle, then in the resources section, you'll find Myrtle Street and then again Warringah Mall. So open that up, you can see the same two files. So now that I've got those files in AutoCAD, I'm going to just click on Open Files and open that AutoCAD file in the Warringah Mall folder, and just ignore uninvolved references. And so there you can see, if we zoom in, it's got a reasonable amount of detail, but I'm just going to show you the PDF version of that floor plan, and you can see it's got a lot more detail that we can definitely make use of. And so I want to start by bringing that PDF file into AutoCAD, so I can have that as well as the AutoCAD lines. And then we might look at working with some of these other drawings in that PDF file. So when you open the PDF file, make sure you realise there are 6 pages, and we're going to bring in the second page.
When I open the AutoCAD one,
Yep. Oh, if it says read only, just say yes, that's fine. Yep. And then ignore. Yep. So, yep, just click OK if you get any warnings, but yep, if you've got AutoCAD open, you should be able to just click Open Files, and then, oh no, that's probably not the best way. Just, okay, so back to the PDF. Again, with the second file, second page, sorry, we're going to bring that into AutoCAD, and so you can insert PDFs, and I just want to show you that. If you go to the Insert tab, you can go to Attach, and then make sure that the file type option at the bottom is on PDF, and you'll see that you can insert PDF files into AutoCAD. But don't worry, I'm just showing you this for information if you need to do this later. I'm not going to do it that way. And the reason is that Revit can't read PDF files. So if I bring it into AutoCAD, I can bring my AutoCAD file into Revit, but it won't see any of the PDFs I've inserted. So I'm not going to insert it that way. I'm just going to cancel that. And instead, I'm going to open the PDF file with Acrobat Pro. Now, I might actually just show you that if you haven't opened it, or even if you've opened it already, you can just check that it's opened with Pro. And the way to check is to right-click on the PDF file in your file browser, and then you can go down to Open With, and the Pro version is the one that doesn't say Reader. So Adobe Acrobat DC is actually Acrobat Pro. The other one is Adobe Acrobat Reader, which has less features. So choosing the top option there, Adobe Acrobat DC, and then again I'm going to flick to the second page. I don't think that really matters, but now I'm going to go to the File menu, Export to Image, and I'll just use JPEGs here. Now, I'm going to export into the same folder, so if you're in the class... Sorry? Yep, you can, that's right. Now, if you're in the class now, you don't need to do this. If you're watching the recording, you will have to, but in here, I'm going to do it into the same folder that you've got open, so you'll all be able to use the same JPEG files as me. And so you'll see now in that folder, if you've got it open, that you'll have a series of JPEG files. And if you've ever needed to make image files from a PDF, it's that easy, as long as you've got the Pro version of Acrobat. So you can see there I've got a JPEG for each page. It's fine. And so now in AutoCAD, I'm going to click the Attach button again, and this time change it from PDF to all image files, which, sorry, yep, at the top. And then I'll just browse to the folder I've just been showing you. Why can't I see it? There it is. And then link them all. And then again, page 2. So I'm just going to double click on that file. And then I'm going to make sure I don't click OK here before setting the right options. So I'm going to turn off the specify on screen option for scale. That's really, really important. And then type in a scale. So this is the attach button. So it's on the insert tab, and then the insert tab. Yep, yep, and then the first attach button. That doesn't. Yeah, that's the cloud, I think. So there's another attach button that doesn't look like a cloud. So that's the most important thing, that you have that specify on screen option for scale turned off, and then you type in a value, and 1,000 is a good base value. You'll see what that does in a minute. And then I'm going to leave specify on screen ticked for insertion point. And I'm going to click OK. So you can see then that it's still fairly small, but at least I can see it because I made it 1,000. So it's 1,000 times what it would have been otherwise. So I'm just going to click then to place that next to the other floor plan, and then zoom in and make sure I can see it. So zooming in there, you can see we should be able to get all the detail we need. Okay, so you want to check that, just make sure that as a JPEG it's actually readable. Yep, it will be small, so we're going to scale that now and make it the right size.
Sorry, could you just go to
Yes, yep. So there are 2 attach buttons. So there's one that looks like a page and one that looks like a cloud. So you need to make sure it's the first one. Oh, sorry, there are 3 attach buttons now, actually. So it's the first one, though. It looks like a page. Oh, no, so it's a just not attach. Okay, so the basic method for scaling, I think I've shown you briefly before, the basic method is to find something that has a measurement. So I'm looking here for dimensions. I can see a few already. So I've got there things that have been dimensioned, which means we know the size of those things. So here you can see I've got, so it's a bit hard to see my cursor, so I'm just going to zoom out of it. So I've got the cursor there over to the right. And, well, actually, it's very hard to see on this white background no matter what I do. Yep, sure. So I'm just going to show you a little trick that'll make it a little bit easier. If you right-click on the command line, you can go to Options, and then go to Colours. Sorry, on the Display tab, go to Colours, and then you've got on the right-hand side a list with crosshairs, and then you can change the colour to, well, I'm just going to choose a grey. So I'm going to go select colour here, just choose one of these grey colours, maybe the darker one. Oh no, sorry, I'll choose the lighter one because I still want to see it on a black background. Okay, so now I can see the cursor over on my image and the black background. So, do you want me to show you that again? Yep. Okay, so, and this is a good thing to know for lots of other settings as well. So again, when you right click on the command line, you can go to Options in that menu. And this is essentially your preferences screen. So it sets all your main preferences. And here, again, I'm going to the Display tab. And then you can click the Colours button on the left-hand side. Choose Crosshairs. And then choose the colour on the right. And you probably need to go to Select Colour at the bottom there to choose one of the grey colours. And I've just gone for the one at the end there. So again now I can see my cursor, and I'm going to take these measurements using, again, the dimensions that we've been given. So as a general tip or general rule of thumb, you want to go for the longer measurements where possible. So here, I'm looking for one that's nice and long. There we go. So 10,125. I'm going to go to the Home tab, and then in Utilities, I'm going to click the Measure tool. I'm going to zoom right in and make sure I get right in the middle of that tick there on the left. And then I'm going to zoom out and make sure ortho's turned on, so I'm measuring in a straight line. That's the right angle symbol down the bottom. And then, again, I'm going to zoom in and make sure I get right in the middle of that tick on the right-hand side. And then press Enter to finish, and Enter to finish. Oh, sorry. With Measure, you've got to press Escape to get out of it. So I'm going to give you those measurements anyway, but it's good to practice measuring. If you haven't used AutoCAD a lot, that's a really important thing you need to be able to do using that. The right angle down the bottom. Ortho is the symbol that looks like a right angle. Yep. So now I want to go back and see that measurement that I'd taken. And you can click on the black up arrow in AutoCAD any time to see your history. So I did it a while back, but I can still go back and see that. And so there you can see the distance. I'm just going to round that off to 241. Now, you can use the same measurement as me, so don't worry if you can't see that measurement. You can just use that figure. So in AutoCAD, at the moment, it is 241 millimetres. We want it to be the number you can see there, 10,125, or 10 metres and a bit. So I'm going to use the Scale tool now to make it the right size. So I'm just going to click the Scale button, zoom out so that I can click onto the edge of that image, and then press Enter. Next, it'll ask for the base point. And so I'm going to see there on the command line, just make sure it says specify base point, and I can click onto the bottom left corner of that image, and it's going to scale up and to the right from there. And now this is where it's interesting. It's asking for my scale factor. And using a bit of simple maths, with those two numbers I've already got, I can get the right scale factor. So the basic formula is the size you want it to be divided by the size it is. Right, so the size we want it to be is 10,195, oh, sorry, 125. So 10,125 over, and I've forgotten the number, but I did copy it, so, but it's an easy one to type, so I'll type that again. So 10,125 / that number that I typed in, and sorry, I just tried to paste it and that didn't work, so I'll just type that in one last time. 241, 10,125 / 241. So again, you should just be able to type that scale factor, the same as me. So again, 10,125 / 241, or over 241, divided by 241. Enter, and now you can see that's become much bigger. And visually, you can probably tell that it's, if not exactly the right size, pretty close, because we can see the plan next to it. So I'm going to check that now by going in and measuring the same dimension again. I'm just going to click the Measure tool, zoom right in and click in the middle of that tick, and then zoom in on the other side and click in the middle of the tick on the right. And you can see then it's giving me the measurement, 10,130. So it's within 5 mil, and that's definitely within the margin of error that you would have working with an image like this. So that's the right size. And but again, just to be doubly sure, I'm going to go and check another measurement. and see if that's the right size. So here, it's going to measure this one that should be 4200. And there, you can see there, 4202. Okay, so that's the basic method you use for scaling anything in AutoCAD. So just remember that simple formula. The size you want it to be divided by its actual size, or the size it is. And so again, in this case, it was the bigger number. Usually it's the bigger number divided by the smaller number. So I'll give you a minute just to maybe make sure that's working, and then we can look at the other files.